Why can Japanese people eat raw food? The hidden system behind sushi, raw eggs, and trust. Why can Japanese people eat raw eggs? Why can they eat slices of uncooked fish? And why does dipping hot beef into a bowl of raw egg feel completely normal in Japan? While many people in other countries would consider it dangerous, to the outside world, Japanese raw food culture can seem almost unbelievable. Sushi, sashimi, raw egg over rice, sukiyaki dipped in raw egg, raw shellfish, sea urchin, salmon roe. Even dishes in which freshness is judged by how little heat has touched the ingredients. In many countries, cooking is considered the most basic step in making food safe. Heat kills bacteria. Heat destroys parasites. Heat protects us from invisible danger. So why did Japan develop such a deep trust in uncooked food? Is Japanese food naturally safer? Are Japanese people somehow more resistant? Or is there an entire system working behind every piece of sushi and every raw egg? The truth is more complicated than the beautiful plate in front of us. Japan's raw food culture was not created by ignoring risk. It was created by learning to manage it through farming, fishing, cold storage, inspection.com, transportation.com, preparation.com, regulation.com, and the quiet discipline of countless people who understand that food served raw leaves almost no room for carelessness. This is not a story about bravery. It is a story about trust. Chapter 1. Raw food is not one single tradition. When people hear Japanese raw food, they often imagine sushi, but sushi is only one part of the story, and not all sushi is raw. Sushi is fundamentally a combination of seasoned vinegared rice with seafood, egg, vegetables, or other toppings. Some seafood is raw, some is cooked, some is cured, some is marinated, some is boiled, grilled, or simmered. Raw fish and sushi are connected, but they are not identical. Japan also has many different kinds of uncooked or lightly prepared foods. Sashimi focuses on sliced seafood without rice. Tamago cake Gohan combines raw egg with hot rice. Sukiyaki uses raw egg as a dipping sauce for cooked meat and vegetables. Some regional dishes use raw horse meat. Other foods may be salted, vinegared, dried, frozen, or fermented without being fully cooked. So Japanese raw food culture is not simply a preference for uncooked things. It is a collection of techniques. Each ingredient has its own risks. Each one requires its own method of control. Raw egg is not managed in the same way as raw tuna. Raw tuna is not managed in the same way as mackerel. Raw beef is not treated like raw chicken. The first lesson is simple. Raw does not mean untouched. Often, raw-looking food has already passed through an extraordinary amount of human care. Chapter 2. Why raw eggs feel normal in Japan. For many visitors, the most surprising example is the Japanese egg. In Japan, raw egg may be mixed with rice for breakfast. It may be placed over noodles. It may be stirred into natto. It may be used as a rich dipping sauce for sukiyaki. In the United States, however, food safety guidance warns that even clean uncracked eggs may contain salmonella and recommends using pasteurized eggs for dishes served raw or undercooked. Japan does not believe that eggs are magically free from bacteria. Instead, the system is designed around the expectation that some consumers may eat them raw. Egg production, grading, packing, distribution, labeling, and refrigeration are therefore treated as parts of one connected safety chain. Japanese egg packages carry a best before date that is generally intended to indicate the period during which the egg may be eaten raw when properly stored. After that date, the common guidance is to cook the egg thoroughly rather than continue eating it raw. This is a major cultural difference. In many places, an egg is sold with the assumption that it will be cooked. In Japan, eggs are often handled with the possibility of raw consumption in mind. That changes the entire chain, not just the final meal. Chapter 3. Safety begins long before the kitchen. A raw egg becomes safe or unsafe long before someone cracks it into a bowl. It begins at the farm. The health of the hens matters. The cleanliness of the facility matters. Feed, water, pests, workers, equipment, and storage all matter. Then the eggs are collected. Damaged eggs must be separated. Dirty or cracked shells are not treated the same as clean, intact eggs. Packing facilities use sorting and inspection systems. Temperature and storage conditions matter because bacteria can multiply more easily when food is kept improperly. Japanese food rules distinguish normal eggs suitable for raw use from dirty, cracked, stived, or otherwise unsuitable eggs. Food service guidance also emphasizes using safe eggs, avoiding cross-contamination, and consuming dishes made with raw egg promptly. This reveals something important. The safety of raw food does not come from one perfect inspection. It comes from many small barriers. No single barrier is absolute, but together, they reduce risk. A clean farm, an intact shell, careful sorting, cold storage, a clear date, clean hands, clean utensils.com. Immediate consumption. This is food safety through layers. Chapter 4. Why other countries treat eggs differently. It would be wrong to say that eggs outside Japan are poor quality. Different countries simply build their food systems around different assumptions and regulations. Some systems focus heavily on keeping eggs refrigerated from production through sale. Some use egg washing practices. Some rely more strongly on pasteurization when raw egg is used. Some public health authorities simply recommend that consumers cook eggs until both the white and yolk are firm, especially for children, older adults, pregnant people, and those with weakened immune systems. The American FDA clearly states that fresh eggs can contain salmonella, even when the shell looks clean and unbroken. So the difference is not, Japan is safe, the rest of the world is unsafe. The more accurate difference is Japan has built a commercial and cultural system in which raw egg consumption is expected. Other countries often build their guidance around cooking or pasteurization. Different expectations create different rules. Different habits create different supply chains. Chapter 5. The meaning of the date on a Japanese egg. Many people think a best before date simply means after this day, the food becomes bad. But with Japanese eggs, the date has a more specific meaning. It generally indicates the recommended period for raw consumption under appropriate refrigeration. Afterward, the egg may still be usable if thoroughly cooked, and if there are no signs of spoilage, this distinction matters. The system does not claim that raw eggs remain equally safe forever. It creates a clear boundary. Raw before the date, cook after the date. The date is not decoration. It is part of risk communication, and risk communication is one of the hidden foundations of trust. A consumer can only make a safer choice when information is clear. This is one reason Japanese raw egg culture works as well as it does. The responsibility is shared. The producer has responsibilities. The retailer has responsibilities. The consumer has responsibilities. Trust is not blind. It is built on rules that everyone is expected to understand. Chapter 6. Why sushi is more complicated than fresh fish. The word fresh is often used as if it explains everything, but freshness alone does not make raw fish safe. A fish can look beautiful and still contain parasites. It can smell clean and still carry microorganisms. It can come from clear water and still present risk. One of the best known dangers is Anisakis. These parasites can be found in many kinds of marine fish and squid. Eating infected seafood raw can cause severe abdominal pain, nausea, and vomiting. Japan's Ministry of Health warns that vinegar, salt, soy sauce, and wasabi do not reliably kill Anisakis larvae. Effective controls include appropriate freezing, heating, rapid removal of internal organs, and careful visual inspection. This destroys a popular myth. Wasabi does not magically sterilize sushi. Soy sauce does not make unsafe fish safe. Tradition does not defeat biology. Real safety comes from handling. Chapter 7. The cold chain behind a beautiful plate. A piece of sashimi may look simple, but simplicity at the table often depends on complexity behind the scenes. The fish must be caught, handled quickly, stored at controlled temperatures, transported without breaking the cold chain, processed with clean equipment, separated from sources of contamination, prepared by someone who understands the species, displayed for a limited period, and served before quality begins to decline. Temperature control slows bacterial growth. Rapid processing reduces the time parasites may migrate from internal organs into muscle in some fish. Freezing can kill certain parasites when the required temperature and time conditions are met. Japan's official guidance identifies freshness, visual inspection, and freezing or heating as major measures for preventing anisakis illness. This does not mean every fish in Japan is frozen. Species, source, preparation, farming conditions, and intended use all matter. But it does mean that raw is often the final appearance of a carefully controlled process. Chapter 8: The Skill of the Sushi Chef. The safety of sushi is not created by romantic tradition alone. It also depends on practical knowledge. A skilled chef needs to understand which fish are suitable for raw service, which must be frozen, which require curing, which parts should be removed, how to prevent contamination between ingredients, how long seafood can be held, how temperature affects texture and safety, how to recognize changes in smell, color, and firmness. But even experience has limits. A parasite may be difficult to see. A harmful bacterium may produce no obvious smell. That is why craftsmanship cannot replace regulation or science. The strongest food culture combines all three: tradition, skill, modern safety systems. The chef is not a magician. The chef is the final guardian in a much larger chain. Chapter 9: Sukiyaki and the Raw Egg Ritual. Sukiyaki offers one of the most visually surprising Japanese eating experiences. Thin slices of beef are cooked in a sweet and savory sauce. Then they are dipped into a bowl of raw beaten egg. To someone unfamiliar with the custom, it can look as though cooked food is being made dangerous again. But the egg serves an important culinary purpose. It cools the hot meat, softens the intensity of the sauce, adds richness, creates a smooth texture, and brings the ingredients together. This is not simply raw egg for the sake of rawness. It is balance: hot meat, cool egg, strong seasoning, gentle texture. Japanese cuisine often values contrast: crisp and soft, hot and cold, rich and delicate. The raw egg in sukiyaki is part of that design, but it should still be handled like any other raw egg: fresh, properly refrigerated, within its recommended raw use period, and consumed promptly. Chapter 10: What about raw meat? Raw meat must be treated separately from eggs and fish. Japan has dishes involving raw or lightly cooked meat, but it also has strict restrictions created in response to serious food poisoning incidents. Raw beef intended for consumption must meet specific standards. Raw pork, including pork organs, cannot legally be sold or served for raw consumption. Raw beef liver is also prohibited for raw service. Japanese authorities continue to warn that raw or undercooked chicken can cause Campylobacter food poisoning and should be thoroughly cooked. This is essential to the story. Japan does not accept every kind of raw food. The culture changes when evidence shows that the risk is too great. Tradition is not above public health. Some dishes survive. Some become more regulated. Some disappear. A living food culture adapts. Chapter 11: Is raw food healthier? This is where many videos become misleading. Raw food is sometimes presented as automatically healthier, more natural, more nutritious, better for the skin, better for energy, better for longevity. But the truth depends on the food. Cooking can reduce certain heat-sensitive nutrients, but it can also improve digestibility, destroy harmful microorganisms, change texture, and make some nutrients easier for the body to use. For eggs, a human digestion study found that cooked egg protein was digested much more efficiently than raw egg protein. This means raw egg is not automatically superior for protein absorption. Fish provides protein, fats, vitamins, and minerals, whether it is raw or cooked. But the nutritional profile depends on the species and cooking method. The honest conclusion is simple. Raw food is not a universal health category. It is a preparation method. Chapter 12: Does raw food make you more beautiful? There is no strong basis for saying that eating raw eggs or raw fish will directly make someone more beautiful. Eggs contain protein, fat, vitamins, minerals, and useful amino acids. Fish can provide protein and, depending on the species, omega-3 fatty acids. These nutrients can support normal skin, hair, muscles, and overall health as part of a balanced diet, but the benefits come from the nutrients, not from the food being raw. A raw egg is not a beauty treatment. Sashimi is not a guarantee of youthful skin, and no traditional food should be presented as a miracle cure. Japanese beauty and longevity cannot be explained by sushi or raw egg alone. They are connected to a much wider pattern. Diet variety, portion size, vegetables, fish, fermented foods, physical activity, healthcare, social habits, and many other factors. The danger of the Japanese secret idea is that it turns a whole lifestyle into one magical ingredient. Real health is rarely that simple. Chapter 13. The real nutritional advantage. The strongest nutritional argument for Japanese raw food culture is not that raw food is magical. It is that these foods are often part of meals built around variety. A sushi meal may include fish, rice, seaweed, ginger, tea, and soup. A traditional breakfast may include rice, egg, miso soup, vegetables, and fish. Sukiyaki includes meat, tofu, mushrooms, leafy vegetables, onions, and other ingredients. The value often comes from the complete meal, not one raw component. This is an important lesson. Modern wellness culture searches for isolated superfoods. Japanese meal culture often works through combinations. Rice balances strong flavors, soup adds warmth, vegetables add variety, protein provides satiety, pickles add acidity, tea cleans the palate. No single dish has to do everything. Harmony replaces obsession. Chapter 14. Who should be more careful? Even in Japan, raw food is not equally appropriate for everyone. Young children, older adults, pregnant people, and people with weakened immune systems may face more serious consequences from foodborne illness. Public health advice in many countries recommends extra caution with raw or undercooked eggs, fish, shellfish, and meat for high-risk groups. Travelers should also avoid assuming that any egg or fish anywhere can be safely eaten raw simply because the dish is Japanese. The safety system matters. Where was it produced? How was it stored? Is it labeled for raw consumption? Was the cold chain maintained? Was it prepared by a trustworthy business? Copying the dish without copying the system is not the same thing. This may be the most practical lesson in the entire video. Do not judge food safety by appearance alone. Chapter 15. Japan did not eliminate risk. No country can make raw food completely risk-free. Japan still experiences salmonella infections. Anasaki's cases. Food poisoning, cross-contamination, temperature failures. Human error. Official warnings continue because the danger is real. So why do people continue eating raw food? Because life is rarely built around zero risk. It is built around acceptable risk. People drive cars, eat at restaurants, travel, cook, and make choices based on systems they trust. Japan's raw food culture is possible because risks are reduced enough for many consumers to accept them. That acceptance is supported by habit. Experience.com, regulation.com, industry standards, and social expectations. But trust must never become carelessness. Chapter 16. The philosophy hidden inside raw food. Raw food leaves nowhere to hide. A heavily seasoned dish can disguise average ingredients. Long cooking can soften toughness.com. Strong sauces can cover imperfections. But sashimi exposes the ingredient, its color, texture, temperature, cut, fat, freshness, and natural flavor. This is one reason raw food fits certain Japanese aesthetic values. Restraint.com, simplicity.com, seasonality.com. Attention to detail. Respect for the ingredient. The goal is not always to transform food as much as possible. Sometimes the goal is to interfere as little as necessary. But minimal intervention does not mean minimal work. The simpler the final plate looks, the more precise the preparation may need to be. This is a pattern seen throughout Japanese culture. A quiet garden requires constant care. A simple tea bowl may require years of skill. A clean slice of fish may depend on an entire chain of disciplined work. Simplicity is often the visible result of invisible complexity. Chapter 17. The difference between trust and blind faith. At the center of Japanese raw food culture is trust. Trust in the farmer, trust in the fisherman, trust in the processor, trust in the delivery system, trust in the retailer, trust in the chef, trust in the label. But healthy trust is not blind faith, it is earned through repeated reliability. One correctly handled egg does not create a culture. Millions of correctly handled eggs do. One careful sushi chef does not create a national reputation. Generations of standards do. Trust is built slowly, but it can be lost quickly. One scandal, one outbreak, one careless shortcut. That is why food cultures built on raw ingredients must constantly protect the system beneath them. The true product is not only food, it is confidence. Ending, why Japan trusts raw food. So why can Japanese people eat raw eggs and raw fish? Not because Japanese bodies are different, not because bacteria respect tradition, not because wasabi kills every parasite, and not because raw food is automatically healthier. Japan's raw food culture exists because an entire system was built around it. Production, inspection, cold storage, speed, skill, labeling, regulation, consumer knowledge, and continuous improvement. The egg on the rice looks simple. The sashimi on the plate looks untouched. But behind both is an invisible network of people doing their jobs carefully. Perhaps that is the deeper Japanese lesson. Trust is not created by words. It is created by consistency. Day after day, farm after farm, kitchen after kitchen, meal after meal. Japan does not trust raw food because it ignores danger. It trusts raw food because generations of people learned to respect danger. And perhaps this is why the most delicate foods require the strongest systems. In a world searching for quick health secrets and miracle ingredients, Japanese raw food culture offers a different message. Quality is not magic, safety is not luck, and trust is never free. It must be built.com, protected.com, and earned again every day. Thank you for watching. If this video resonated with you, consider subscribing for more timeless Japanese wisdom, food culture, and life lessons from Japan.